So there was a lot of death stalking the theater at the time, right? Plus the end of World War II.
It's the Ten of Swords. It is a collapsed energy, a totally drained being, someone who has met their end, a finality.
Oh, is that? Oh, I thought you tripped over something.
No, that thing, it was like, it just rolled out.
The prolific Regent Theatre sits in the heart of historical Picton, Ontario in Prince Edward County. Resurrected from its former shell as a warehouse into one of the most bustling playhouses in Canada, it has seen 2 world wars and the Spanish flu epidemic of 1918. We were guided by Logan Summers and Regent Theatre's staff before our investigation, where they gave us their accounts of paranormal activity. We were then joined in our investigation by Regent GM John Galway and local historian Tom Harrison.
So the first thing, interestingly enough, may not be the first thing. It's, the first thing we know about, and partly because it became such a public building in 1918, which was during the pandemic. So it was actually, the opening was initially delayed because there was public health closures. It wasn't until November 2nd, 19, when the wave of Spanish flu had come through and killed so many people. So there was a lot of death stalking the theater at the time, right? Plus the end of World War II. It opened as a movie house. George Koukoulos, who went by George Cook, was a Greek immigrant who opened the movie house, and later expanded it into a 1,200-seat auditorium, the largest auditorium after the Royal Alexandra Theatre in Toronto.
I will try and verbalize what I'm pulling and give a brief description of the general idea of each card and how it relates to the question I've asked. I'm not going to be imposing spiritual messages onto this reading at this time. I will try and stick to, like I said, the basics of the essence of each card, and then near the end of the reading, if I have any strong intuitive messaging come through, I will definitely share it. Okay.
So, got somebody that, it's almost like an usher, I guess, maybe.
Makes sense.
He's just like up and down here.
I wonder if he knows he can touch that REM pod over
Stands
there.
up.
And they had all of the big name stars through this theater, on screen in silent movies, and then through vaudeville as well. One of the myths or rumors is that Mary Pickford, who was the star of silent screen, was Canadian, was also one of the founders of United Artists, actually appeared on stage here at some point. And so, they did quite well.
I did a reading before I got here. I always do, to give me a sense of what the energy I'm walking into will be like, so I can prepare appropriately. And so how I started was drawing an archetypal energy, or the essence of the building itself. So not as a human, but as an essence or a being, an entity in and of itself. It is a grand landmark, it is a family jewel, it is a community jewel, and it is its own entity. So we're going to ask for a clear indication of what the general energy of this building is at this time in the present. Oh, I love that. That's the Hierophant. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. It looks like a papal figure or pope kind of figure, some head of a church or spiritual organization, who has 2 deacons or helpers or clergymen or employees, essentially, with him, that he is not only in charge of, but they are his students. So he's in charge of their learning, he's in charge of their health, he's in charge of the maintenance of their schedules, as well as his own, as well as of the castle. So as a castle, or as the church, or as this grand building of itself, I feel like the energy is this protective fatherly archetype, for lack of a better way to describe that. A very fatherly energy, like that of a pope or a father, high father. Within that, I will say that the binding that the Hierophant does is between the spiritual world and the world of law. So can conduct a lot of law-abiding but spiritual ceremonies like weddings or is it in, I forget what the word is, but it could be indicting, like becoming a priest. That's the wrong word. There's a special word for it. But anyways, this person would be in charge of conducting those ceremonies, being the master of ceremonies and merging the two worlds of the physical and of the spiritual. So I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory in and of itself. I will also mention that the number associated with this card is 5. We are currently in the Leo season. That is the 5th house. This has a lot to do with kind of playful energy and a really expressive energy. As much as this, Hierophant is a leader and a structure and a voice of reason, it's also kind of like a showman. Like loves to express and get people engaged and get people excited about whether it's their faith or their growth or their reflection or what have you. So I like that. I know when I go to the theater, when I see a show, that inspiration is immense. And to have, the magic applied right in front of me with costumes and lighting and sound and all of the set and everything, it's a beautiful merger of worlds.
Up here, stands up in that corner. Watches stuff, messes around a little bit, up in that corner.
We didn't go up there, did we?
Yeah.
In that room?
Well, not in that room, no.
The spotlights, yeah. Yeah, I don't even know where the door would be for that.
Guy. Probably like, probably about this big.
Big usher.
Don't jump up on the stage. Just hear that? Don't jump up on the stage. Stairs.
Theater is, of course, always a haunted place in many ways, right? Whether it's depictions of Scottish kings usurping thrones or murder mysteries, we bring past characters to life and fictional characters to life that are highly dramatic. So the actors themselves are often channeling the emotions vicariously, and sometimes they get a little extra help. And I suspect that's the case. Having been on stage in this theater and having seen fireflies in the upper balcony while I was actually interviewing David Frum a few years ago, no explanation for that other than the fact that there were some lights flying around. There were no fireflies up there. It was something else, and it could easily have been something odd.
I am going to quickly ask my cards for 2 different energies represented by these 2 deacon figures that are with the Hierophant. Because that indicates to me that within this, there are 2 entities, there are 2 beings that exist within this vessel. So as that indicator, I'm just going to pull 1 card each to decipher what those energies are. If they are people, if they are lingering feelings, we'll see, I guess. So for the first lingering energy that is of service to the Hierophant as the regent, as this building, what is the archetypal essence of that support, of that being? That lingering energy. They got them both. Wow. I'm going to start with the one on my right because I pulled that in my research meditation and it's come up again. So that clarifies for me a lot. It is the Ten of Swords. It is a collapsed energy, a totally drained being, someone who has met their end, a finality of some kind. And it is a weight that is so debilitating that there is no more to be had of this person. That's it. Okay, so likely suggesting somebody who's passed on, possibly suggesting a situation in which someone was crushed or collapsed onto because of that back and that feeling of everything's weighing down on me here.
Most of the people who work here have stories of the lights having gone through at the end of the night. They leave in theater, they leave the last light they leave on is called a ghost light. And so they go through the theater and they'll turn them off in a certain order, and the people who do that have gone through and then they come back and then the lights are back on again. So that has been a not irregular occurrence here over the years. There's at least one instance in the on stage there where there was a large chandelier that would have been in the early days, right, for lighting purposes, that was dropped down with a large half-inch rope, and the caretaker lowered it down one night, and as he was lowering it down, it was a half-inch rope that was thought to be perfectly safe and solid. It snapped and broke, like straight out of Phantom of the Opera, and that kind of freaked him out a little bit.
This feeling of trauma, it doesn't really matter what the outcome of that trauma necessarily was. The impact of the trauma can linger in physical places energetically and repeat. It's like a stain. So like, even though you're no longer eating the fries with ketchup on it and you've washed your clothes 3 times, there's still that ketchup stain. We can't get it out. You know, it's probably in there forever, or so we think. A lot of the time, magically, those stains disappear. But this is how I feel this card is that possibly a situation that happened that was a painful, heavy, stressful finality of something huge is lingering here and is maintaining this like sadness and this mourning kind of all the time. So that's one energy associated with this building. And that makes me sweat a little bit because I can feel a lot of pressure on my chest, back, diaphragm area. And it's coming with a lot of mental unsurety. So just throwing that in at the end, this like mental weight and this unable to sift through how much I'm dealing with, a mental block that is so impeding that it will bring an end to something else. Anyways, the other energy associated is quite different. It is the Queen of Wands energy. And I love this card. Who doesn't? The Queen of Wands is the sunshine queen, essentially. She is like super positive, super encouraging, and very hardworking. She's like the kind of woman that even if you don't see, you know, her smiling, like in this card, she looks not stern, but she looks pretty bleak. It doesn't matter because the cultivated energy that she creates all the time of that sunshine, excitement, encouraging, motivating vibe is so strong and so eminent that it's enough to support her and it's enough for the community. Everyone's like, cool, you're the queen. You know, like we trust it. Whatever you're doing, you gotta do. There is a little black cat sitting at her feet, as well as the lion symbolism on the back of the throne. The lions can still be associated with that sunshine energy. There's also giving us an indication of this ferocity, a bit of wild edge, a bit of aggressive factors that probably need to be kept in check. And that's something with the Queen of Wands. She can be so set on the common goal that she can dismiss the feelings of the people around her. And that's a common trait with the Queen of Wands when she's kind of in her shadow self, we'll say.
This guy doesn't want to come back here either. Trying to get away with murder. Trying to get away with murder. Is this a show, maybe? I don't know. I hope so. But it's pushy. Oh, pushed me. Somebody pushed me. Fight. Kind of like to see this guy. Maybe it's the usher guy, that big guy out there, but he's just going to town on somebody.
So they ran it after the 1930s. Vaudeville closed, so they ran it mostly as a movie theater. And George Cook was a pretty strict boss. He had some rules. They lived in the apartments upstairs. One of the rules that he had was that no one was to go through the projection room while there was a show performing, because he believed that going through the projection room would distract the actors. And so he had a very strict rule that no one was to do that. And there have been at least several instances in the last few decades where people have gone through the upper rooms here, through the projection room in particular, and felt taps on their shoulders. In at least one instance, one of the former janitors thought he heard a voice that said, "Get out," when he was in the projection room. And so, whether that was George Cook or some other spirit, I don't know, but certainly there have been people who've gone through there and didn't want to come back because of the energy that they felt in that space.
So I think we have one masculine energy or one trauma related to a masculine energy that lingers here as a stress that we all pick up on energetically. And I think that there is definitely a feminine energy or womanly energy here who is very much in her shit, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like on her shit. She was running this show. She was making it happen. She was like cleaning down on her hands and knees as much as she was running it as a manager, as the queen. And yeah, has that edge, that bit of ferocity and that bit of, and don't mess with me kind of feeling to her.
Not having those barriers down here. It's really open, really welcome, but there's stuff.
That better be Shelley, or that's a lot of racket.
Yeah. Like, it can go into the things, like the pipes. Like that. It'll hide in the thing, like watch. It's like a travel spot almost.
I would just assume ghosts can walk through walls.
This one is like, hey, I can do this. This is not great. Because it can do things if it wants to. It can manipulate things. Oh,
Is down here where you felt the trickster energy? What was that?
there's a lot of different types of tricksters though. Because even like anybody in the theater is kind of a trickster, right? Because we're pretending to be somebody else and all that kind of stuff. And like Tom said, channeling that energy and like using that, so makes sense, but this.
There's at least one other instance in which there used to be a security camera in the upstairs office, and the person who was collecting the receipts for that night came in and put the cash box on a table, and the person in the office could actually see what was happening because there was a security camera that was fed into the office. And as they were watching, the cash box flew off the table and flew across the room. Went to the person who brought the cash box and said, "How did you make that happen?" And they said, "We didn't make that happen." And that person actually refused to go into that room anymore. The other person that's been identified as a potential spirit haunting the Regent Theatre is the daughter of George Cook and his wife, who was Louise Cook. And so most of the people who've had experiences here of feeling like they're being tapped on the shoulder or watched or had lights come on, or heard strange noises, settling noises, they usually refer to that as Louise's ghost, because Louise maintained it as a movie house right up until the 1980s, when it was closed down for about 10 years. It's a pretty typical kind of place. As I say, theaters tend to be full of superstitious people. At the best of time, nobody wishes anybody luck in a place like this. It's always break a leg.
I was actually going to ask you, there is a lot of superstition within the theater. Actors carry it, everybody carries it, that little bit of superstition. Now, do you think that those are just superstitions, or do you think they're legitimate concerns?
Well, I mean, sometimes the belief itself will realize the thing. And so whether or not they're a superstition that's based on the existence of a spiritual or an implied thought, I think, those are the kinds of things that we learn from experience. If it's like, one of the superstitions about theater is, in the old days, when they had to communicate when to raise and lower sets in the back of the stage, they didn't talk because they were, often far apart, maybe 30 or 40 feet above the ground. They would whistle to one another. Yeah. And they had a set of whistles that they would use in order to say, lower the set, raise the set. And of course, you can imagine that if you got the whistle wrong, you could drop a set on somebody's head and kill them. In fact, that probably did happen, not infrequently. And so to this day, it's considered extraordinarily bad luck to whistle in a theater. You're just not supposed to do it.
Makes sense.
Why do we say break a leg instead of, a better greeting that we might use outside the theater? Right. Well, I mean, it's, Abraham Lincoln was shot in Ford's Theater when he was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. So it's thought to be that the expression break a leg comes from that, so you don't say something that could cause something bad to happen. You're not supposed to use a peacock feather on stage because peacock feather has the evil eye inside of it, and so that's also another superstition. And you're not supposed to say the name of the Scottish play that involves the usurping of a king's for exactly that reason. You say the Scottish play, which we won't say because we don't want to make anybody upset.
Right, really heavy.
I know. I'm always at the beginning of it right here.
Yes, for sure.
Right, yeah. I got it downstairs.
Yeah, this was the part that was put up around the late 20s, early 30s. It was added so they could fly up all their sets.
Yeah. It's the second but the biggest stage and house after the Royal Alexandra drop.
And we can go to the projection room.
Definitely feels heavier downstairs than up here.
In the basement?
I felt like that since the library.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So this is the spot during the last investigation where the one of them had a panic attack in this room. Okay. Their sidekick had to be taken out. It was in this area right here. Which way to be removed, and she went out to the hall there, and she wouldn't come back in this room.
I spend a lot of time.
Yeah, this.
And you don't, how do you feel in this room?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I think the poster room scares me more than this one.
Oh,
It's that.
It's scary.
Yeah.
So much of it is just like you're not one.
yeah.
Yeah.
They obviously like you, and
Yeah, I'm also projectionist here. The loft is sort of the weirdest sort of space for me, just because it's dark and you're the only one.
oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just because it's, yeah.
It's where my imagination has the most fun with me at the very least.
Oh, that's
Yeah, but yeah, coming in here at the end of the night and shutting things down, and it's just slowly turning off every light behind yourself.
Oh, wow. Kind of like Darkness Falls, eh? You just have to have the light.
Yeah.
Stay in the light.
And like you go out of the loft and you have to close the gates and stand over the edge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Checking through all the windows and the loft. Yeah.
That's cool. Working in an old theater.
Oh, wait,
It'd be
wait.
really neat, eh?
So cool.
Are you stuck?
I'm just thinking, it's weird, you know, when you step in like a pool of water and then one part of it's warm and the other part
Yeah.
is not.
Yeah.
That's what this is like. But with heaviness.
Oh.
Like,
So which side's heavier?
that's right.
That side?
What's over there? I did not fall. I was here walking. I have what you do that.
Oh,
That's
that is like,
It does.
yeah. There you go. That's why.
But it's it's a fascinating old building. It has roots that go back to the early 1800s. With the warehouse that was here before, and so this was settled territory back for hundreds and thousands of years before that. So there's lots of things going on. They did a dig in a renovation of the building next door, and they found bones and old horse heads and everything in the so there's all kinds of things in the ground and in the earth and in the building and in the walls. Be interesting to see what you find.
Cameras are rolling.
It's like in my throat. As soon as I walked around that corner, it was like, then that burp again. Same as when I walked into the theater. Cleaning. Obsessed with cleaning. If you're gonna be in here, get down there and clean that. This isn't what I mean. Sense.
So you don't want to be pushed through here. That was the last time, right?
Yeah.
You're doing your thing now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to push myself through too.
Because you had an issue with this door last time.
Yeah.
You were saying it was like
In the
hot and
center of
cold.
it.
Because it wasn't even hot and cold. It's more like you're sticking your hand into a pool. So, like the energy just shifts right here. And that threw me right off too, because then they said, hey, that's where I feel uncomfortable out there. I don't know where I'm going.
Right.
But yeah, it is. And like, it's like a wall. Remember at the Homebody?
Yeah.
When I was like, it's weird because it's like a goop going through and it's like something's trying to keep you out.
Yeah, you
It's like
compared it
something's
to
just separating these two rooms right here. And it's not forceful or anything like that. You can go through, but it's keeping whatever separate. It's like, no, you belong there. You belong in there.
Yeah, you described it before as like in a video game when you get
Yeah,
into an area you're not allowed to go, you just sort of bounce out of it.
yeah, but this is like, you belong in there. You
You stay here, you stay there.
Stay here, you stay there. It's like, this is like this, the borderline.
And this is the separation from the projector room to, I can't remember, this is out to the balconies. I wonder if the projectionist just wants to be, let me do my job.
Maybe, because right here is like nothing. This is like a whole, except, yeah, this is like a whole nothing.
Right after you guys walked out, the thing just fell down.
Okay.
Sorry.
Did somebody knock it?
I did not touch it.
Okay, so we got stuff falling over.
Oh, is that, oh, I thought you tripped over something.
No, that thing, it was like, it just rolled out.
That Federal Express tube just rolled off the shelf. How dare it?
Somebody trying to talk to you?
Maybe it's, yeah, it's like, hey, FedEx guy, you forgot to get a signature on
While
this.
you're here.
Yeah, can you deliver this? I bet you it says Main Street Picton on it.
Music.
Music?
The music play. Like just tingles right here, just like all over. It's a party.
I like that. I know when I.
Something. I don't know, they keep on burping. Keep on like. And they've got back pain too. They have a lot of back pain and stomach pains.
Because that indicates to me that within this, there are two entities. There are two.
It's like he's got like a bowl. Like he's bald on top and he's got gray hair right here.
To decipher what.
A little bit thick. Not fat, just like. Like he was muscular at one point, but he could probably still take it.
Like a retired Viking here. Eats a lot of bread.
Yeah, but he's got like khakis on.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
No. Or some kind of like beige looking pants and like a blue and black checkered, like that plaidish, but he's got suspenders on.
I'm gonna start with.
He's got issues.
And he's in this room here.
Yes.
Now I'm curious what the projectionists look like. Because you're talking about a guy that could take you. But then that door over there too is kind of pushing you out too, right?
Yeah. And then
So now she started with this tube roll off of here.
that tube rolled out.
No, it was adjust to the right place. Interesting.
Is there like, how was it sitting when we were coming through?
I don't know.
It was probably under there.
We were over here and we were.
Because how can,
Yeah, because even if you.
And I don't know where it was sitting because I put it back there.
Yeah, I heard it hit the floor. I thought you tripped on it.
would it have to be like, just like sitting there like that?
Yeah, weird. And even if you bump the desk. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it was.
So
Definitely made a whole lot of racket though.
where did it roll to?
Just hit the floor and
I
yeah.
Just rolled right
like
up there.
not even through the door. Like I was it pulled out and I walked in.
That had, who sets something that precariously though?
Yeah, no, it's weird.
Because like even, let's see,
And I'm not shooting this, but
I
the
balanced
camera.
that on there, it's still not coming up.
No.
Okay, so that had to have been like, look at that. It had to go over that.
Yeah, because it bounced on the floor for a long time.
It was loud. Like it
It would have had to go over that box. All right, so we'll have to.
Unless maybe it was leaning up here somewhere. But then even if it was there, I don't know.
We'll get the sensors up in here, but I gotta keep moving. woman uses this window.
A busy area.
Yeah, just back and forth, like watching at the sink. It's like just in this area. Yeah. So this room.
Oh wow, that's all the old playbills. I never even noticed that before. But
She is.
it's a woman.
Yeah, it's a woman.
Who's in this picture over here, I wonder?
Yeah.
I know, but the one on the left has a mischievous grin.
Mm-hmm. How you gonna, like she's saying what he just said, how are you gonna find me?
Like, look at her.
How you like me now?
Oh yeah.
Alright. Coming up. I feel like that was a warranted warning. Holy. Literally like walking into a whole different. It's like walking into that other side.
You and Shelley were both getting that on the initial run through, right?
Yeah. The first time it was different. That's why I knocked when I came up.
Oh.
Just
You
to
felt
kinda
like you had an intruder before, maybe?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was, because I knocked this time and I don't feel that same. Because at first when I came up, it was like a heart attack. Like, oh my God, somebody had a heart attack here, like that kind of thing. But like I can still feel it now. But it's panic is what it is. It's panic. Somebody's freaking out.
I wonder if this is the costume room, if it was a dressing room. Like if you're coming up and somebody's
Having to change costume.
changing and they're naked or something.
Yeah, but something
You'd be-
happened in here.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's not that kind of panic.
Well,
like-
it is.
Oh God, you should have knocked. It's more of a.
It's more of like, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna die. But it's like, as I recognize that that's what they're going through, it's like subsiding. It's almost, I keep on hearing death state.
Death state?
Yeah, so it's the state of when they're dying.
Oh, okay.
And it's like they're stuck there.
Like redying all the time.
Like just constantly dying.
Or like if that's how you died and you're
Yeah.
just living in eternity in that moment.
Yeah. So if you died of a heart attack, then they would be like in that heart attack
The whole
forever
time.
until they were able to kind of get through it. But it's like that maybe they were like, it's not a costume they're wearing. They're sick. They're sick. Like sick. Dark over here. It's like people are being kept there. They're not even being kept. They're keeping themselves there. Keeping themselves there or kept there? There's something about being kept there. But I need to get out of here.
Like in here.
Get out! Get out! So,
Yeah, so they've all, I'm thinking if there is like the spirits that we're talking about, they've almost got their own sections. They stay in their own rooms.
they know their role.
Like the projectionists.
Except for this guy's back out here.
Oh.
Whoever's in here is always in the middle of something. Always like between two people. This guy's always coming and bitching and moaning about something, and this person's always on the other receiving end of it. So this guy is always like, I don't even know if it's a guy. It's just another person.
A middleman.
It's a middleman.
Middle person.
Yeah, like a mediator almost. It's like, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of this. Then he comes and he's like, somebody falling down the stairs. Somebody asleep and fell down the stairs.
Somebody got seriously
Did you
injured.
say you were feeling broken, like your hips and your back were hurting?
Yeah.
That was.
Right here. Like, lean out.
And this is a weird transition coming down a footstep now too, but like the guy said when we got here, we didn't get a recording of it, but he was saying that this is where the auditorium used to go back to here. That's why the floor has this weird transition, because this was an added, they expanded this.
Yeah. It's not, that guy has hair. The guy that I saw didn't have hair. Well, he did, but it was like that. You know, you're trying to hold on to it hair.
Right. The skeleton.
Yeah. There's 3 actors here.
3 actors?
There's 3 actors here. Specifically here. There's 3 of them. And they're just craving that attention still. They're irritated that they have to greet people now. They feel like it's their job to greet people now. But that's not what they want to be doing. They want to be there.
On stage. Like somebody got demoted.
It's like really, really, really big energy. Very late 20s. Very late 20s, maybe early 30s.
Like, you mean age of the person or
No,
the 1920s?
1920s, 1930s. Age of the people might be in their 20s, 30s, still. No, there's a guy that's 45. About that. The other 2 are younger. Really
See,
big.
And in the 20s, this would have been a fairly new building
Mm-hmm.
because it was built, what,
18.
18 and then renovated in 1922? They had a new roof or something?
Yeah. Yeah. So this would have been in the late 1920s, early 1930s.
So after the renovation.
Yeah. It's an opening night. What show? No, what show it was. Let's ask that later. Ask what show this is and who
Right.
these 3 people are. Okay.
That's cool.
All right. This way. No more goose chase. Okay. 0.5, 0.3, 2, 0.
I got a name on goes to Barbara.
Barbara,
And you got Betty and Charles
Betty, and Charles.
downstairs.
Barbara.
Does that sound familiar in any way? Like,
We're coming to get you, Barbara.
no.
Barbara? Oh,
Well, hey, you know, it's a movie. Could be.
could be.
Coming to get you.
You're in a
That's
theater.
what's tricky.
Right? Yeah, there's things faking me out down there because it's a person, but they're just a little bit extra.
Mischievous?
Are they real or are they still acting?
Yeah, that's it. Like, but there's the one thing
like
that keeps on just like
method
slinking
actors.
around. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
something
they just
that
stay in character all the time.
things that push people around. My name is Sha'tekayèn, I'm Andrew. We're just here to ask a few questions. If you could help us out, that would be amazing. Everybody else will introduce themselves too, just so you know who you're talking to.
I'm Natasha.
I'm Shelley.
I'm Blaine.
John.
You may like Leah. I'm Leah.
So we're going to use this device here to try to speak with you, and I know you're here, just watching you. So you can also play with this ball. Did it just go?
It just moved.
So that rolled. That's interesting. I had to do that before to do it. But it actually like
was already flashing, so it wouldn't be too conspicuous.
Right.
Like,
We'll just have to go over it, make sure nobody hit it or anything like that by accident. Because I don't know, like I could have done that maybe.
maybe it is. But I don't know. We'll have to review. I was just
I feel like.
sitting here and all of a sudden the ball was moving. I was like,
I mean, it's happened before. So.
Plus, they're not perfectly round either.
Right.
It could be hanging on an edge, right?
Yeah. But for it to roll up.
are we going lights out after?
Yeah. And we'll use the Phasm camera and we'll set up. I'm gonna carry that little grid with me. That other grid fits on the tripod. Yeah. I got it on that tripod up there. Hi, can you come talk to me, please? I'm looking for Betty or who else? Charles. Barbara.
Or anyone who wants to chat.
Anybody who wants to chat. Who's the guy that likes walking up and down the aisle? Are you the man that's walking up and down the aisle? Okay, yes, B7. Okay, so PSB7 Spirit Box. He likes to watch around in the corners in the change room. Stations per millisecond. Need the higher speed version. Charles, is that you? Or was that a character that you played? I'm not jamming. I'm pretending like you. What's this shot doing? Did you fight Germans?
Is that you?
Your name George? Who's up there? Can you say that a little bit louder for us, please? I'd like to know who you are.
Oh, great.
So we're both listening out of the same speaker box. We'll flip the cord and 3 sets of headphones. And we're going to have Shelly ask questions. Wait about 15 seconds, I think, between questions. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll put this on. After you. Yeah, Shelly.
I can.
Oh,
Yeah.
If there's no rush at all, just at some point, that's going to be very helpful for me.
Alright, so the only person that's going to tap out is Shelly, and Shelly's going to be coming from your right.
Okay, wonderful.
3 times.
Is
Who's there?
Singing. Barbara, are you here? Would anybody like to talk to us tonight? We're here to speak with you and learn your stories. Do we have any actors with us tonight? I don't know. You don't know if you're an actor? Are you a singer? Probably.
Movie.
Did you come here to watch a movie?
Wait for me.
With me.
Get ready.
Get ready for what? Is there something exciting going to happen? Help
You're
me.
telling me.
What do you need help with? I'd like to help you if I can. We'd love to listen. Oh. Where are you? I'll look at you.
Look up.
Look up. Are you up?
Andrew was talking before, like he felt something in the ceiling. But then again, the ceiling is the stage floor too, right?
Yeah. Are you upstairs on the stage? Did you say dead? Did you die here? Or near here?
Happening.
Yeah. Do you like to come to see the movies?
Listen.
I'm listening.
See, your unit there said bathroom before, right? And Andrew went into this bathroom and got some pretty shitty vibes from it. Like somebody died in there.
That's us. Yes?
How did you die? How are you feeling? Are you feeling okay?
Even.
Good. Are you heathen or are you calling me a heathen?
You.
Me? Well, that's correct. I guess you could say that, yes. And what about you? Are you making Andrew feel sick? Are you giving us headaches? Do you find it fun here with all the people coming and watching shows? Did you
No.
No. No. No. Then why are you here? I think it's a nice fun place. Well, you're at the Regent Theatre. Did you used to work here?
Betsy.
Ram tide going off upstairs.
Is Betsy here?
We finally got a name in and that thing started beeping.
Stephen?
Who's Stephen? Is Stephen with Betsy? There goes the REM pod, second time.
Oh my gosh, I can see the musk.
time it went off.
Is that?
Yeah, you guys were actually speaking in unison, so.
Were we?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so thanks. We got
Well, we were
Betsy,
asking,
Stephen.
we were asking for a name the whole time. 19 minutes in, you finally said Betsy, and then that alarm started going off.
Oh my
And the
god.
text went to
And then
again.
Stephen, and
These are all the cards I got earlier. And my reading card coming.
We got a steady 0.1, so like it's either 0.1 or 0. So we'll just call 0.1 our baseline and say that's our residual energy walking around here.
Wait, when is the baseline? That kind of vibe?
Yeah, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, I never asked if you want somebody to go with you, Blaine.
It's really gross.
It's like really gross, really panicked, really like
Decrepit, shifty.
in here.
Yeah.
And it's like this was the spot right here. It's almost as if it was like laying down, like thinking it's having a heart attack. But it wasn't a heart attack.
You know,
It was
like
like
when you're
full
hung
on
by your feet
Panic attack.
and like that blood rushes all the way up and it gives you that feeling of panic and nausea and all those things. That's what and it kind of connects back to the hangman that kept coming up.
I can't leave.
Yeah.
Do you need some help leaving?
Can we help you?
Niece Gloria.
Do you need to talk or contact your niece, Gloria? Can we find her for you? Who is Gloria?
Not chatty now.
Mm-hmm.
They're hiding in the costumes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At the back? One of the reasons why I didn't go back there.
Tall man. Dark hair.
What's that?
Tombstone.
Tombstone. Do you not have a tombstone? Do you need a tombstone?
Oh, that wasn't very nice.
That's fair.
Did somebody get hurt here? So they're looking two ways at once.
Why are you here?
I want to find out what happened here. Maybe we can help you. I don't want you to be stuck in your death state. That is not a nice way to spend eternity.
We kept getting get out. And then that room there, you said it was like a middleman, a mediator going between two other people. And someone fell downstairs, broken hip.
And then when we were in here earlier, something fell off there. That tube.
This is where I was.
Yeah. So you were
And
right
then
there.
like went, and I waited, and you guys went through, and then I followed. But it was like on the floor.
And it would have had to go over this because we tried it a few times. So there's that. I'm gonna give this back to our expert.
Oh, shucks.
Who likes to push people out of here?
Are you hiding something? Is that something? Yes.
What are you hiding?
Because I'm going.
Where are you going? Are you the one that likes to touch people in here? Do you know who likes to touch people up here? Stephen, are you the guy that keeps on following me around?
Is there something you'd like to share with Andrew? I can't read it. It's too little. I know, sorry. He's on. All right. Pass it on. Oh, okay, here we go. Forward.
Oh, crap, that's loud.
Anybody here want to talk to us? Stephen, are you here? I don't know. You don't know if you're here? You know the question? How are you today? There's a question. Are you having fun chatting with us?
What?
Did you slip? Who slipped? Was someone pushed?
Something keeps on moving behind me. Standing there.
Are you standing behind Andrew? Who was standing behind Andrew?
I don't know what that said. Hi.
Hi. Do you want to speak to us tonight?
Stop. Cry.
Do you like this cry? We're not scared. Are you scared? We just want to talk. Hear your story. What do you want to play? cards, a game. You want to put on a play? You want to put on a play?
Something touched my shoulder.
Can I have the name of the person or being that's touching Andrew, please? Is that you playing? Are you playing with Andrew?
I'm gonna switch my sleep.
Everyone was pretty chatty before. You keep getting tired? I'm getting tired. Is it that time? You want us to go home? You can tell me. Well, that doesn't sound very fun. Yeah, we're not very chatty. No, not very chatty. We were chatty before.
Yeah.
First,
Like not getting very much. I'm getting tired.
I did get tired, so maybe there.
Yeah, when we first started, I felt like something walking around behind me.
I know. I actually got scared. Like,
Yeah.
to actually admit it, I actually got scared.
Like,
You know, Grace.
How aggressive we get.
Yeah.
Was it aggressive and
Yeah.
climbing and like, yeah.
Like
They always get kind of monkeyish.
Yeah.
Right? Like this.
I got one of these.
Oh, I hate that.
I took the light off the camera and I went to 90.
Yeah.
That was all I
Part of
did.
it.
Like I was literally
Did it make you
reading
feel
it.
like they were trying to keep you from falling, or that they were being a little?
No, it was like a trap.
Yeah.
It was like,
Natural beings, they're like the trickster kind of energies where you know either way they're not really there to help you, they're not really there to hurt you, they're just kind of fucking around.
Yeah.
And it felt like,
No shit given.
behind you, I'm behind you. Oh, like an annoying big brother or little brother. Yeah, like an annoying sibling of the universe that you just I used to be like, not touching me, not touching me, not touching me.
But it's like they had like long, gross hands.
Yeah.
Because like that's how it would feel.
Yeah.
Like it was just like only like really long. Like your fingers just go.
They said they were tired too. They were tired. Yeah, no what? Like
Fair enough.
Thank
More
you
level.
for the ghosties.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, thank you.
You
That's
don't-
my
you don't-
favorite
you don't
quick prayer I've ever heard. Thanks, no, thank you. I'm in the car for you. Got another room in the house. My car. We're barely You don't want to come to my house anymore. I got 5 cats.